Yo, what is going on? It is your boy Koo back with another banger here. It is currently Friday at 2:30 p.m. So we've got through the first round of the draft, second and third rounds starting tonight with the Buccaneers. But I'm going to be going through my biggest winners of the draft so far, biggest winners of the first round, my favorite personal picks. Like the slideshow says, follow me on Twitter, please, to look at my crappy football takes. Anyways, let's get into my biggest winners of the draft here. Oh, okay, and that doesn't work. All right, coming in at the first team on my biggest winners list has got to be the New York Jets. So their first pick number 4, they took Sauce Gardner, locking up what many believe the second corner off the board, but what many believe is the best corner in the draft. They could use some secondary help, of course. Some say he's the new Darrelle Revis. Someone who's maybe watching this that's one of their takes, but they've got their lockdown corner of the future. Really good man coverage, fits a big need for them. So they got really good pick off the board here. It's kind of hard to have extreme value when you're picking in this top 5 area, but I think they got a really good pick here with Sauce Gardner, pick number 4, and then at pick number 10 they managed to pick up arguably and probably most favorably the best wide receiver in this draft, Garrett Wilson. Again, the second wide receiver off the board to Drake London. But they pick up Garrett Wilson at pick number 10, who I think could make a good duo with Elijah Moore and, just a weapon for their young quarterback. And, I think at pick 10, that's probably where, they had the best value here for a receiver, as opposed to pick number 4, because, they basically got the guy they wanted at pick 10 and didn't have to jump on him early. So that's a great value pick. But then arguably the best pick of the first round for the Jets was Jermaine Johnson at pick number 26, the edge rusher out of Florida State. I even mocked him at some points, and I know a lot of people had this to him at the Jets at 4, said that they liked him over Kayvon Thibodeau even, and then it was debatable whether I'd pick him at 10, but then they trade back up in the first round to pick him up at 26, which is just insane value for him. He fell pretty far. I know there's people out there say there's no steals, guys fall for a reason, but the Jets clearly liked him, so they got their guy in an extremely valuable position. So I think it's safe to say that the Jets are definitely big winners here in this draft, at least as far as the first round goes. Moving to the next team, we've got the other New York team, which is the New York Giants. They picked up Kayvon Thibodeau and Evan Neal, arguably the best pass rusher and offensive tackle in this draft. Kayvon Thibodeau, I think a lot of Giants fans saw a lot of signs they really liked in the draft. Him getting hype with the dude who read out the picks, and seeing him be kind of interactive with the team, be excited to be working with them. I think Giants fans are probably really happy to see that. Maybe alleviate some of those character concerns that he apparently had. But probably the highest ceiling edge rusher in this class. And they got him at pick number 5, didn't have to move up. They snagged him there. And then when it came to pick 5, none of the offensive tackles were even off the board. So they picked up the edge rusher there. And then at their next pick, arguably the best tackle, probably the most battle tested, could play both sides, most well-proven and all-around tackle. Evan Neal, should be a staple for them. The other side of the line of Andrew Thomas, protect Daniel Jones in his last year of contract or whatever, new quarterback. They maybe decide to draft later on or in free agency, or who they roll with the next year. But, Evan Neal should be there as a staple in their offense moving forward. Now coming to my team, the Philadelphia Eagles. If you follow me on Twitter, you would have saw that I tweeted that going into the draft, I was looking for Jameson Williams and Trent McDuffie, who we got neither of. We took Jordan Davis. We traded up 2 spots. Jumped the Ravens to take Jordan Davis, which I was honestly pissed about at first. But, seeing him interact with the fans and, his personality throughout the draft process, I think it'd be good for the city, good for the team. Now, obviously, he's a physical specimen. Even on the draft show, they were talking about problems with how many snaps he played and only played 20 snaps a game, not playing on passing downs that much. But, I think the Eagles have had a big focus on the defensive line moving forward, and I think he could learn a lot from Javon Hargrave, Fletcher Cox, and I think he'll fit in nicely rotationally, and one of the best athletes we've ever seen in the draft, so I'm pretty happy with that selection. And the big move, maybe the most surprising thing of the night, was the Eagles trading out of the 18th pick and landing A.J. Brown, only 24 years old, has some injury concerns, of course, but is, when healthy, a possibly, top 10 receiver in the league. The Titans, they got Treylon Burks, which is kind of like a Walmart version of A.J. Brown. He could be just as good, but for now, he's cheaper. Treylon Burks is cheaper, but not as proven as A.J. Brown. Getting Jalen Hurts, another target, good kind of like yin and yang combo with Devontae Smith. And, I'm obviously ecstatic to have A.J. Brown on the squad. He did pay him a big contract, but, again, it should be an immediate impact player and one of the top receivers in the league, and is pretty young. So yeah, I think the Eagles walk away with a pretty good haul here with Jordan Davis and AJ Brown, two insanely crazy athletes to add to the team. Next, we move on to the Lions. They get Aiden Hutchinson here, which is like the biggest slam dunk pick for them. You know, the Michigan guy, arguably the most NFL ready of the edge rushers in this class. I think he'll make an immediate impact. Maybe not the highest ceiling of the other guys, but who even knows what that means? We got to see how they play. But, they get their guy here, pick number 2. Trayvon Walker goes 1, and we'll be talking about that maybe in the Biggest Losers video, which will be coming soon. But they get Aiden Hutchinson here. I mean, it was almost too perfect not to be true. But then the Lions trade back up and steal Jameson Williams right in front of the Eagles, which I was pissed about because I think this guy's going to be absolutely electric in the league. One of the fastest receivers we've seen in recent memory, could really stretch the field. And I think, this new look, Lions offense with DeAndre Swift, TJ Hawkinson, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, now Jameson Williams, I think is a really, and they've got a really solid offensive line too. So, the biggest concern is obviously Goff, but I think, with with a pretty stacked offense now, he could shine. This Lions offense is a little bit scary. And I think they got good value for this pick, traded with the Vikings too, a division team. So I think this was good for them. Jameson Williams there at pick 12, third receiver off the board. They trade back up and get him. I think that's really good for the Lions. We go to the next team. We'll briefly talk about this. The Chargers, they had one pick, didn't make any, moves up and down, but they get Zion Johnson here, who I thought was a really solid pick, in like the 99th percentile for some statistics for guards, who I think was the best guard in this class. And they defend I think they're going to play him at right guard is what they said, another piece to protect Justin Herbert. Just a simple pick, but I think they really nailed it with this one. I know Chargers fans are happy with it. Moving on to the second to last team here, we got the Ravens, who get arguably definitely the best safety in this draft, I think, and arguably one of the best players in this draft at pick 14. They didn't move up for him. They get Kyle Hamilton, should be an immediate impact player on the Ravens defense. We all know how good he is, and it's pretty simple. He's going to make a big impact on that team. And then later on in the draft, that pick number 25, and you can't see that because of my big face. There we go. Pick number 25, Tyler Linderbaum, the best center in this class and one of the best interior offensive linemen, literally pinned Tristan Wirfs, if you've seen that video, but, should be a great leader on their offensive line moving forward, protect Lamar, who was supposedly not happy with it, but I think he'll be happy once Tyler Linderbaum's in front of him, protecting him. So I think these are two slam dunk picks for the Ravens here, two of the best players at their position this entire draft that having to move up for them. And last but not least, we have the Kansas City Chiefs, who traded up to get Trent McDuffie at pick 21. I was mocking him way earlier than that, and super solid, could play all over the secondary, and especially with the way the NFL is moving and in the super competitive AFC, having more secondary help is obviously huge for the Chiefs. Think it's great value here for McDuffie. And they also at pick 30 got another really valuable pick. Both these guys, George Karlaftis and McDuffie could have been top 15 guys, and they get him at 21 and 30. Karlaftis really productive in college, and I think is a little bit underrated as an edge rusher. So, the Chiefs get two stud defensive guys at picks 21 and 30. And, they'll have to pick up a receiver likely in the next round. But, there's Sky Moore, George Pickens, bunch of dudes left on the table, Christian Watson as well. So, I think they could still make that happen. And I think the Chiefs get a really good defensive haul, really good value for these picks. So those are my biggest winners so far, first round of the NFL draft. And now we've got the second round coming up. We've got Kobe Dean, George Pickens, Malik Willis, and Andrew Booth Jr. still on the board, so we'll have to see how stuff plays out and who the biggest overall winners of the draft are. But that is who I would say the biggest winners are of the first round. So I hope you enjoyed. Leave your thoughts down in the comments below, and I'll see you for the next video coming very soon.